What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Make It or Break It Monday, the show that helps you get your head right so you can start your week right. And today we are talking about control. The C word, control. Who doesn't like control? I don't know about you guys, but like when I'm in the car, that's when I am in control. That's where I'm trying to guide traffic and telling people to speed up. And man, when you're at the green light and the left-hand turn lane's going and you got two cars that go and you're like, okay, that's fine. But then you got the third and fourth car who ride the other two cars and think that their time is more important than everybody else's time. Just me? It's control, guys. It's all about how we can have control. And I think in life, what we try to do is we try to control everything. We try to control every outcome. And when I know that I have a goal or I have a mission of something that I'm trying to accomplish, I need to get from A to B. And I need to get from A to B as fast as possible. And that's who I've always been. How do I compress time? How do I just get there? And normally it's like this. I need to get from A to B. And to get from A to B, I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how I plan everything out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In that order. That's how I need to do it. That's the plan. That's what I'm sticking to. That's how it's going to go. But I don't think it always goes that way, does it? And I think I've learned, as I've matured, that that doesn't always happen. So we have to figure out, hey, how do I continue to move forward? How do I get from A to B? And more importantly, when I get to B, how am I actually prepared? Because this is what happens. When I start at A and I try to go right to B, and I go through this path, the path that I choose because I'm super smart and I know the best way how to do everything. So that's the plan that I put together for myself. But when I get to B, how do you make sure you have the right skill set? And I think that's where a situation happened and it really taught me this lesson. I had a friend who was in a company with me, and he came to me and he said that, hey, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go to another company and I'm actually going to take a position that's a step down. And I was like, why would you ever do that? Less responsibility, new company, you have to basically reinvent yourself, put your time back in, that doesn't even make sense. And then as my friend makes that change, goes into that company, he has a boss that does not treat him very well. And I'm just like, see, why did you ever leave? You shouldn't have left. And he's just like, yeah, okay, I understand. And then this friend actually ends up having another opportunity to move to another company. Great opportunity, he thought in his mind, where he was actually going to be a co-manager of a department. So he's going to be a co-manager of a department, and I'm like, why would you ever be a co-manager of anything? Don't you want to have the authority to do everything, right? You want to run the show. And my friend ended up running into that exact same problem, right? Him and that other person just butted heads. They didn't do things the same way. And he's getting frustrated. And I'm just like, see? Why aren't you just A, B, C, D, right? A to B, 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you not just follow the path, right? So this person, my friend comes back to me and is just like, hey, I'm thinking about coming back to where I was. And that's really kind of where it hit me. Because after having a bunch of conversations with him, I said, well, maybe you should go actually speak to the director of that department. So before he leaves, or thinking about leaving, he goes and has a conversation. And as he has that conversation, he's like, hey, I don't know if this is the right fit. We're really butting heads. I completely understand the situation. I don't want to leave on bad terms. And he explains us every single thing that's happening. And the director actually tells the guy, hey, you've done everything that we've asked you to do in this position. We're actually going to make you head of the position, and we're actually going to end up letting the other person go. And now my friend is in that position that he's been wanting. Crazy, right? Crazy to think that I knew what was best. And I think I do this in my own life, and we all do it in our own situations with certain things, right? We try to control the outcome of every single thing, and sometimes the outcome of every single person around us. But we all have to learn our own lessons. And I think that's the biggest thing, because when you try to go from A to B, there's a certain skill set that you need when you get to B. So my friend had to go through this. Now, it wasn't the fastest route, but I'll tell you, when he came in and took that lesser job with lesser responsibility, lesser pay, he learned humility. He learned how to go through and actually navigate that situation with humility, not worry about what everybody else said, but he took it because he knew he was going to learn something here, a specific skill set that he needed. Now, next piece here, he got down and that boss didn't treat him very well. All of us probably would have thought like, hey, why would you even work for that person? But you know what my friend learned? My friend learned not just the front side of leadership, but he learned the back side of leadership. He learned what not to do in that situation. So when he became a leader of a department, when he got here to be, and he got that opportunity, he knew exactly what not to do and who he did not want to be once the power or the control or the authority was actually put upon him, right? And while this whole thing was going on, he learned perseverance, he learned patience, he learned how to stay the course, he learned how to not cut corners. He got passed over in between positions there as well. He had to overcome adversity, all of that. So we think everything is so black and white, A to B, 1, 2, 3, 4. But understand, and I think I've become to realize that when you look at the journey versus the destination, I've always been like 100% destination person. Compress time, get there as fast as possible. I buy the plane ticket to get where I'm going, not for the plane ride, right? So I'm all about just getting to where I need to go. But what I started to realize more and more, and the example with my friend as well, the journey is the same as the process. And the process is actually what builds you up. The process teaches you at each different point through here what you actually need to know. It gives you the skill set to be able to be prepared and be able to be ready once the opportunity is there for you. So while all of us continue to try to do this, I tell you, realize, take a step back, think in the situation that you're in today. Think through those hard coworkers. Maybe the person who doesn't completely understand you, right? Think through that specific situation and think about, what am I learning in this moment? Because I bet you if you just keep jumping to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, you're not gonna find fulfillment, right? Now, sometimes you have to make a change. Sometimes you have to do something to be able to get that specific skill set, but understand that all the different experiences are preparing you for where you're supposed to be. Preparing you for when you actually get to be, right? We all want control. Who doesn't like control, right? We all want to be in control. But understand that big goals and big things that you want in your life, they're not straight lines. That's why, like, you could, an inexperienced person, you can give them a business to run. Give them $1 million in a business to run, and that business will not succeed because they do not have the fundamental pieces, that they don't have the hardship, they don't have the experiences to be able to go in and make good decisions to help that business thrive. And it's the same thing when we have our individual goals here. It is both pushing towards a destination, but you have to understand and realize what you're learning at each part of the journey. And if it goes off track, sometimes when you try to pull too hard and control it, the thing that you're pulling away from is actually that experience that you should be learning right now. So it's okay to have things be hard in certain situations. The hard part is what makes you better. The hard part of understanding that situation is what's going to drive you forward. So I hope you guys got this message. I hope this really resonates with you no matter what part of that A to B journey you are on right now. Whatever goal that is, whatever part it is, understand that each of these pieces is going to teach you something, and each of these pieces will make you prepared when you actually get to your destination. Go have a good week, guys.